Alright, just bear with me, but animation for adulting. Here's some shows that I'll talk about, so no specific order. BoJack Horseman by Raphael Bob Waxberg. Another one would be Close Enough by J.G. Quintel. And then another one would be Tuca and Birdie by Lisa Hannawalt. And for these different creators, they more focused on adulting and what it involves. I would say for all these to varying extents, whether touching upon relationships, interpersonal, or more romantic, in addition to more personal development in terms of hobbies, friendships, and different ones talked about just now, and mental health to different capacities and talking about that, or just like in the general plot of like how they go like episode by episode, season by season. Like for example, like Tuca and Birdie would have it where you'll see more like relationship dynamics and how they play out through the main characters, and you'll follow through the season in terms of what that looks like, in terms of like unhappy ones, in terms of boundaries, in addition to just how that evolves over the season. And you'll see that similarly mimicked in terms of like shows like BoJack and Close Enough and similar other ones in structure. I would say like ones like that help in terms of just like different ways to make it more like Fightful, just seeing like that more like in an anime type format, similar to like, I guess like your real life equivalents would be, when I say real life, I just mean just like TV and like just like sitcoms, say like Friends or like How I Met Your Mother, in addition to like It's Always Sunny and different ones. I'd say like just wanting more of that would be cool. Just like similar ones that have that in scope of like adulting and what that looks like as a whole. Bear with me, I will say the word adulting until it is like just dead altogether. But I think what that looks like is that I really enjoyed it in these shows. Say what I like would be how J.G. Quintel, if you watch regular show, you'll see that how he packs things up would be, okay, he starts with like a general premise, it goes like crazy, like world altering or world shattering at times, all in like an episode span, and then he like wraps it up in a bow altogether. This is coming from mine where he previously worked on shows like Flapjack, in addition to like different other creative endeavors on CN or Cartoon Network, before more on like regular show and Close Enough altogether. Try and think other ones that to mind. So with BoJack and what that looks like, I would say that it follows more like a start to end sort of story format, where it's not as like comedic, or it's not as like comedic sitcom type ones. Like you're able to still like follow just like one episode and just go from there, but it's more structure in terms of plot layout, where season by season you get a sense of what endeavors are going on, in addition to like there's a whole like chronology to it, but you're still able to say like pick apart, just like watch one episode standalone. But it helps to like further like follow the plot and keep it going. As for Tuca and Birdie, I would say, from my memory at least, I would say it's pretty digestible in the individual episodes as well, but it's structured enough where it's similar to BoJack, where it'd be beneficial to follow in terms of like the chronological order and not just like hop around, but it's like do what you want in terms of like seeing like what works for you. I would say these shows are like really ones that I watch for more like adulting and like more, I don't want to say like coming of age, because it's like for the whole premise of like Close Enough is like them entering like 30s from their 20s, and just not wanting to like be dismissive of like what that looks like for different people at different stages, because it's like different for everyone. Like what this like adulting, how many times will we say adulting, take a drink every day? No, I'm kidding. But it's just pretty much just like everyone's at a different stage, but just having like, even if it's more like an animated series would be like comforting for some people. I know some people use like cartoons or television or different things more as an escapism, but it's still fun to see like how different creators are able to like create the space for people at the end of the day. I'm trying to think other top of mind ones. I would say there's like a lot out there in terms of creative sites because remember on Netflix there's one about like it's like almost post-apocalyptic, but it's like a female protagonist just riding a motorcycle more at the end of the world, and it's more like animated in that sense, just like exploring what's out there and stuff like that. And then similar one was well similar in terms of like the more animated space, not necessarily for adulting, but just more like think of it as like the more mature ones compared to like your Cartoon Networks, Disney, or Nickelodeon. There's one that was like, what if conspiracy theories were real? But it's like that's the whole premise in terms of things. Like the like government's like hiding it from you. But that was on Netflix as well. I believe like Netflix sometimes just like I won't get too side tangent with this, but it's just like they put like a really promising thing, but then they'll just like forget about it or it's like in production hell for a bit. But I think it's like there's like promising projects out there. Like we have I don't want to derail too much, but there's like that K-pop one, like the team and the Hunters one altogether. That one was really promising, but I don't want to derail from the conversation, which is more like adulting, what it looks like in television format or the cartoony television format. I'd just say it was like really promising and just hoping there's more out there. Is there some that like sort of fill the gap, but not entirely? Like think of your ones like Gumball or like Chowder, where it's like I don't want to say that's more like forget because it's like Chowder is more just like fictional world. Well, all these are, but just more just like really abstract, just like out there, but still enjoyable for what it is. And then for Gumball, it's just more like his misadventures and like his schooling ages. But it's like still like really culturally relevant, like meme wise. But yeah, I won't be too much longer, but pretty much these are some shows that I enjoyed. That are more like adulting to an extent. How many times will we say it? But pretty much those are really enjoyable to me. But just if you have any more, feel free to drop a comment or just like have just message all together. But yeah, this is pretty fun. I'm just trying to not necessarily just like keep creating, but just like trying to get the creative juices flowing and see what that looks like. All right, that's about it. Thanks again, and as always, don't be awesome.